Welcome to Buzz, your daily deep dive into the digital ether. I am Leela Grant, and I'm ready to unpack the stories that are setting your feeds on fire today.
And I am Jonah Klein. We've got a heavy one today, folks. It's not just a meme or a dance trend. We're talking about a massive geopolitical moment that played out in real time on our phone screens.
That's right, Jonah. We are looking at Minneapolis, where the Ecuadorian Consulate became the center of a social media firestorm. If you were on X or TikTok yesterday, you likely saw the grainy, high-stakes footage of ICE agents attempting to enter the building.
It was surreal, Leela. For those who missed the initial wave, reports started flooding in that immigration and customs enforcement agents were trying to gain access to the consulate. Now, for the non-lawyers out there, a consulate is technically foreign soil. You can't just walk in with a standard warrant.
And that is exactly why the internet lost its collective mind. Within minutes, activists were on the ground, and more importantly, they were live streaming. The digital witness effect was in full force here. We saw people using their platforms to call for a physical perimeter around the building.
The speed of the mobilization was like what caught my eye. Usually, news like this takes a few hours to filter through traditional outlets. But Leela, I saw this trending on my For You page before the local news even had a camera crew on site.
It's that citizen journalism flair you're always talking about, Jonah. People were literally tagging the Ecuadorian government and international human rights accounts in the comments of the live streams. They were trying to force a diplomatic response in real time.
Which is a fascinating shift in how we handle international incidents. Lila, the hashtag Protect the Consulate wasn't just a trend, it was a coordination tool. People were sharing parking tips and legal rights infographics while the standoff was still happening.
Wow! The contrast of the icy uniforms against the backdrop of a quiet Minneapolis neighborhood made for some incredibly striking and highly shareable content. It really highlights that friction between local enforcement and international law.
Social media analysis was just as intense. You had one side arguing about domestic security and another citing the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations. It's rare to see 19-year-olds on TikTok debating 1960s international treaties, but here we are.
It shows how Buzz isn't just about the light stuff, Jonah. These platforms are where people are processing major constitutional and human rights crises. The comment sections were essentially a massive town hall meeting.
It also puts a spotlight on Minneapolis again as a hub for digital activism. Ever since 2020, that city has a very high digital literacy when it comes to documenting police and federal agent interactions. They know how to make a story go viral.
They definitely do. As of this morning, the situation has cooled physically, but the digital footprint is permanent. We're seeing a lot of calls for transparency from both the federal government and the city of Minneapolis regarding how this was allowed to happen.
Social media analysis? Whew, that's a fun one. It's a reminder that the world is always watching, and usually recording in 4K. Whether it's a platform shift or a diplomatic standoff, if it's happening, it's on buzz.neuralnewscast.com.
That's all for today's roundup. I'm Lila Grant, keeping my eyes on the trends so you don't have to. That's all for today's roundup.
And I am Jonah Klein. Thanks for hanging out with us in the digital trenches. We'll catch you tomorrow for more Buzz. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.